So what prompted me to make this video is a lot of y'all don't get chicks. And quite frankly, it's a problem that a lot of people deal with. A lot of guys feel stuck, lonely, scrolling through apps, hitting dead ends, frustrated with modern dating. And loneliness doesn't have to be your default. The truth is, most men aren't necessarily dating wrong, but they're going about it the wrong way. And I've noticed this both in my real life and online, the amount of men who struggle with dating. And quite frankly, it pains me, and I want to help y'all. And I was coming across some things online, and I want to kind of read off a couple statistics here. A recent Gallup poll found 25% of U.S. men aged 15 to 34 felt lonely for much of the previous day and the whole week, compared to 17% of women. And it says here that 68% of men ages 18 to 30 are single and sexless for over 12 months. And then this is also part of another confirmed trend that, according to the Rothman Psychotherapy, a steep decline in close friendships among men. Only 26% now report having 6 or more close friends, compared to 55% in 1990. So we are dealing with a pretty steep decline here in both romantic relationships, sexual relationships, and also just normal platonic friendships. And if you're a single young man today feeling chronically isolated and aren't finding meaningful relationships, what's missing? Let's break it down. And there's a lot of videos on the internet that talk about dating this, dating that. I'm going to give you a realistic approach of what you guys can do to find a high quality woman in 2025. I also want to preface that I don't think you guys should go out there to try to, quote, get a girlfriend. I think that you should learn to attract one. I do think that you should focus on yourself and things of that nature, but I'm going to give you some actual guidance on why I believe this could work for you. And to give you some background about myself, when I was younger, especially in high school, I struggled with certain confidence things. And I wasn't really someone that, quote unquote, got a lot of girls in high school, but after high school, like in college and stuff like that, when I really got into the gym, got serious about going out there and dating women, I had a lot more success and kind of had my quote unquote glow up after high school. And I applied a lot of these things that I'm going to tell you today to really go on a lot of high quality dates and ultimately meet the woman I'm with today. And she's awesome and is a very good asset to my life and is a great woman in every way. So I'm going to teach you guys how you can do the same and really give you guys some free game here. So the first one would be just a overall framework. And as you guys know, I talk a lot about sales. I'm going to relate this to sales. So think of dating like building a funnel in sales, right? You can't rely on one lead source. In sales, right, you got your cold calls, you got your cold email, you got your LinkedIn DMs, you got, referrals, you got, partnerships, customer success channels, things like that. You're not relying on one lead source. You must develop a profile, a value proposition, and a pipeline of leads. And you can filter early to avoid wasting time. Just like in sales, you have discovery calls, aka first dates, and then you disqualify deals that aren't necessarily your fit, right? By doing this, you're intentionally positioning yourself where the ideal prospects gather, and really you're narrowing down how to spend your time wisely. And you must believe that the partnership is possible. So let's break this down step by step. Focus on yourself and your mission. So this is one thing I always want to preface with young men out there. I do think that you should want to go out there. You should want to date. You should want to meet women. Quite frankly, I mean, it's in our freaking hormones, right? Like we have our testosterone, like, especially if you're in the gym and you're healthy, like you want to go out there and like you want to date girls, and like that's totally healthy to think that way. But I do think you should still focus on yourself because purpose is magnetic, right? Like if you're a guy who's about his shit and you're out there, you're improving your career, you're improving your physical fitness, your skill sets, your intelligence, you're out there really chasing a goal, whatever that may be. A man with clarity of mission draws in that quality. And when you're building your mind, your character, your finances, your body, and you're becoming the man that deep down you should be, a high quality woman will more so naturally respect that and want to spend your time around you. Because the thing is, guys, women, like, people bet on like horses and stuff and horse racing. Women want to bet on like the horses that are going to win. And like, there's nothing wrong with that per se. I mean, like if I was a girl, I'd probably want to do the same thing, right? So be the beacon, right? And she'll navigate towards you. And I think that's a lot of, a big thing that guys get wrong is like, they think that going out there and trying to get girls is the way to do it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't approach women, because quite frankly, like, it is quote unquote masculine to approach a girl. Like, yes, do girls hit on you and do girls shoot their shot? They sure do. That's happened to me before. But at the end of the day, like, you still should have to approach a girl, or like, start a conversation with her. That's fine. But at the end of the day, focus on what you need to do, making sure your crap's in order. And you're going to have a lot more success, when doing that. And the second thing, which goes into the sales analogy, which I want to dive deeper into, is the multi-channel outreach. So I want to preface this, like, I'm not saying you should sit there like doing outreach all day. You shouldn't do that. But just like in sales, how I mentioned cold calls, emails, referrals, LinkedIn, things like that. In terms of dating and finding a high quality woman, you don't want to limit yourself to just one thing. So obviously, dating apps are like a huge thing in today's culture in 2025, and that's totally fine. If you're going to use a dating app, I would recommend Hinge. Hinge is probably the best. You're probably going to find like the most high quality girls on there over something like Tinder. But I would recommend, if you're going to use dating apps, definitely use Hinge. Make sure you have a good profile, like picture. Make sure you have good pictures of yourself. If you make an account and all your pictures are just like selfies, horrible quality pictures, or a picture of you holding a fish or some crap like that, like, make sure you have multiple different things. Maybe a picture of you looking happy. Maybe a picture of you like with a dog, or you out with some friends. Heck, even freaking hire a photographer for $100 and have them take professional pictures of you. Like, I've seen what, dating apps look like on like my sister's phone when she was showing me. A lot of y'all have crappy pictures. And like, unfortunately, people shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but in the dating app world, women are literally judging a book by its cover because they only are seeing the cover of the book. Like, they can't see you in person. They're seeing you on a phone. So they're going to judge you based off your pictures. And now, are women too picky? You're damn right they are. But at the end of the day, that's the reality of the world. And like, you got to have better pictures. So make sure you have good pictures. You have a personality in your profile, and you really set yourself up for success, right? If you jump out of an airplane, you probably want a parachute, right? You want to set yourself up for success for landing. If you're going on a dating app and you're going to spend the time to swipe on there, you might as well have good pictures, and you might as well have a good profile, because why else would you waste your time on there? So that's the first thing. The second thing, in terms of the multi-channel, you want to make sure that, yes, you are using dating apps, but if you're going out to social events, talk to a girl. Just talk. If you see a girl and you find yourself looking at her a couple times, you might as well go talk to her, right? And the thing is, like, two things are going to happen. Either A, you have a good conversation with her, you ask for a number, she gives it to you, or B, you have a conversation with her and you ask for a number, she says no. At the end of the day, you're in the same position no matter what. If she says no, like if you talk to her, right, and it doesn't go your way per se, but don't even look at it like that. Like, that's the thing that people get wrong, right? They're like, oh, this girl's, this or that, like, I'm going to get her number. That should be the goal, sure, but it's the same thing with, I have another video about emotionally detaching from the outcome. Just put yourself out there. Like, even if you don't get her number, so to speak, you still had a conversation with her. Maybe you guys exchange Instagrams. Maybe you guys stay in touch, right? It shouldn't be so black and white. And the thing is, you have to use multi-channel, just like in sales, multi-channel for dating. Use the dating apps, sure, definitely leverage that. But go out there, go to in-person events, join clubs. Heck, even leverage your friends. Like, your friends know friends who know girls who know other girls. Like, I'm not someone who has female friends, but quite frankly, like, if you did, you could use that to, like, use that as a referral to meet other women. And like I said, it doesn't have to be black and white, like, oh, you're using them to get a girl. Like, don't even think of it like that. You're just going out there, putting yourself out there, and you're going to meet more women because of that. And that's something y'all need to do. And another thing too, like, if you have certain hobbies, maybe you go to the gym, or like, you hike a lot. Maybe go to things like that or events like that where you would like to meet a girl who also does things like that. If I want to meet a girl who likes to hike, well, then I probably should go to somewhere that is known for hiking, or like a very popular place to hike. If I like going to the gym, maybe I should join a different gym, or like, talk to the girls who are at my gym. Like, don't limit yourself to one channel. That would be the second thing I like to say, because even though dating apps are probably like the most popular way to meet people nowadays, there's still a lot of people that meet people in person through friendships, through, mutual acquaintances. And it would be it would be bad to yourself if you were to limit yourself to just one channel. So, the third thing I would like to say, which also, relates to the whole like sales, taking the first calls, making the outreach and then disqualifying from there. Like, go on as many first dates as you can. Now, should you go on a first date with just anyone? No, I'm not saying that. Like, if you meet a girl and like there's 0% chance you ever see it going anywhere, like probably wouldn't go on a first date with her, bro. But I'm just saying, like, go on dates and like put yourself out there and just be open to the idea that it could work. Like, when you go out on a date, the first date should really just be like a feel out date. I'm not saying it has to be like an interview or anything like that, but like just go on a date. Maybe grab a coffee, go to dinner, like take a walk at a park or go to like some, outdoor mall venue, maybe go grab ice cream, whatever your first date is, right? And just go there with the mindset of like, you're there to spend an hour or two with her, have a good time and see where it goes. And at the end of the day, if it ends up, the vibes aren't there, then you can kind of disqualify her from there and move on with your life. And there's nothing wrong with that. The last thing I would do is lead a woman on for no reason, just to try to sleep with her. That's kind of shitty, right? Just go there, have a good time, and see what happens. And like, if y'all do vibe well, and it's something that, you could see maybe it's going to go somewhere, then hang out with her again. That's totally fine. But I do think getting her on that first date is important because a lot of guys struggle with this. I've noticed this among like my friends or just stuff I see online is a lot of people struggle with dating because they can't even get the girl on the first date. Like, it's kind of like when you're searching for jobs, right? Like, landing the interview is the hardest part in the modern job market. I speak to a lot of people who are aspiring to break into tech sales, and I help a lot of people break into tech sales. Links in the description if you ever want to talk about that, helping you land a high-paying sales role. But I talk to a lot of people who want to get into sales, and they tell me all the time that landing that first interview is the hardest part. And obviously, I still coach people on how to handle interviews, the best way possible, the STAR method, really how to, put the interview process in your hand, have success in that, and go on there to land a high-paying job. And that's great. It's the same thing with dating, though. Like, a lot of people struggle just to land that first date. And because the thing is, once you get her on the date, obviously, like, you still have to, like, be present, be able to make conversation with her, get her laugh, have a personality, and that's something that you're going to have to figure out on your own. But, like, there are, ways to increase your chances of landing first dates, and that goes into, like I said, the multi-channel outreach. And I hate even saying the word outreach, because I'm not saying you should be sitting there doing outreach all day, but I'm saying you need to include all different channels, right? You have to be open to the idea of like, this girl might like you. You have to go make a conversation with a girl that you see that you think she's cute. Like, if you see a girl at an event and you think she's cute, you might not ever see her again. So you might as well just talk to her. Like, don't do it in a creepy way, but just go have a conversation with her. There's nothing wrong with that. And, like, you can always exchange Instagrams or exchange numbers. It doesn't have to be like a whole set thing. It could be casual, but you have to go out there, put yourself out there, and tell yourself that like you deserve that. And you have to be open to that idea. So, like I said, qualify leads quickly, but still go out there, go on those first dates, put yourself out there, and it's gonna increase your chances a lot more in terms of actually finding a girl that aligns with your values. And the fourth point I want to make here, which I briefly touched on earlier, but I want to dive deeper into it, is show up where she is, right? So like I said, be involved in hobbies, be involved in communities, be involved in events where the kind of women you want already is, right? Whether it's creative workshops, whether it's like a fitness group, whether it's a place to go hiking, whether it's the gym, whether it's something spiritual like a church or something like that, whether it's volunteer work, proximity matters in that regard. And qualitative studies show that, romantic connection often emerges from shared contexts, not apps. Now, like I said, you should leverage dating apps, but at the same time, there are still a lot of people who meet at stuff like, like a museum or like crafting or like, different types of like cooking classes, different sporting events, running clubs, volleyball. Like, there's a lot of clubs and events that you can kind of go to. And the thing is, I know as us guys, a lot of times we don't want to do that stuff. And like, you know, we're working, we're focused on making money, going to the gym. We want to chill with our friends. I get it. But like, if you're sitting to this, and if you're listening to this and, you know, you're single and you do want to meet a girl, it might be time to change up your strategy, bro. You know, like I said. So just be open to the idea of trying new things, going to where, like for instance, when you're fishing, right? There's literally a whole industry of like fishing equipment designed on finding where the fish are so you can drop your line. So if you're a fisherman, so to speak, and you're trying to catch fish, aka get a girl, you should go where the fish are. Like it's the same thing. So like if you're someone that wants to catch a certain type of fish, go to where that type of fish is. And I'm not saying women are fish, but it's an analogy, but it's the same thing. Like you got to go where they are, or at least consider that option. And then the last one is more of an internal thing, but I think this ties all other points together, which is you must believe that it's possible. And I know that sounds funny, but seriously, hear me out. Attitude becomes attraction. You have to believe it's possible. You have to believe that you deserve a girl that's attractive, that admires you, that respects you, and truly loves you and wants you. Like, you have to believe that's a thing. And a lot of guys struggle with this because they go through life. Maybe they were single all throughout high school. Maybe they didn't get maybe they, you know, didn't get girls. I mean, I get comments on my YouTube channel of, you know, guys tell me that they've like never been with a girl, or like they've never like dated a girl. Like, quite frankly, that's sad. But unfortunately, from what I've seen online and spoken to people, a lot of people struggle with this stuff. And I'm not going to, this isn't a dating channel, but I still like to talk about this stuff every now and then because I believe it's important to help young men out there. But seriously, the attitude you walk around with and the way you carry yourself becomes attraction. You have to believe that you deserve that girl. And the way you speak, dress, act, like that all influences that. And you have to act like a man who's already sees himself and, you know, believes that he deserves a strong, healthy relationship. And, there's a lot of research according to identity-based psychology that believes that believing in something shapes behavior and behavior shapes outcome. And that's totally true. If you believe you're the guy and you believe that you deserve a girl that also wants you, you're going to act in a different way. And like I said, this all ties together. You have to believe that you deserve it. You have to align yourself with similar values of a girl you want. You have to go out there, put yourself out there, go on those first dates, and then be selective and qualify after the first dates. And you have to leverage different types of channels besides just apps. You can't just sit on your phone all day, never leave your house, and swipe constantly and think you're going to meet a girl. Like, you have to try. And ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to focus on yourself and becoming the man you can be. And, building the life and relationship and all that type of stuff you want, it's not about luck, right? It's about alignment. When you commit to a certain mission, or when you commit to using multiple channels, when you commit to being selective with your time and qualifying, when you commit to placing yourself where the right people are, and you believe deep down that you deserve connection, the right person doesn't feel as far away. She starts to feel inevitable, right? She starts to feel not if, but when. And you don't have to chase anymore. You can actually start attracting. Right? So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments if, based off what I said, if any of this resonates with you, what kind of women are you necessarily wanting to find, or which area are you maybe strongest in, and where do you still need to maybe improve? And like I said, there's a lot of people out there that are dealing with certain things in the dating world in 2025, and I'd love to hear your guys' personal stories, maybe your worst or best first dates, or things that you're trying to improve in terms of yourself. But drop your answers below. I hope you guys gain some value in this, and maybe will help you in your dating life. And if this helped you, definitely hit that like button, subscribe, so we can keep leveling up on this journey. I'll talk to you guys.